Imagine opening your phone and the little "Don't find my AirPods" starts moving miles away. Not only that, it's pinging inside a Lyft driver's car, hours after he swore he didn't have them. That's how I realized the guy who drove me home that night straight up stole my AirPods. But he had no idea I was about to hunt him down and make him give them back. In front of his whole family. If you've ever been lied to so confidently it made your blood boil, hit that like button. Because today's story isn't just about lost AirPods. It's about catching a thief in the act and getting the kind of real-world justice most of us only dream about. It started as a perfect weekend. I was visiting friends in another city, the kind of reunion that makes you forget how fast time moves. Laughter bouncing off bar walls, bad karaoke, inside jokes from years ago. One of those nights that feels untouchable. By the time we spilled out onto the sidewalk, the streets were blurred with neon and streetlights. We ordered a Lyft, piled in, and let exhaustion take over. I remember the driver, mid-30s, polite but distant, eyes flicking up in the rearview now and then. Nothing strange. Just another ride home. What I didn't realize as I climbed out and shut the door was that a tiny, expensive piece of my world had slipped between the seat cushions. My AirPods. Realization. The next morning I reached for them automatically. Tea pocket. Tea bag. You know that slow wave of dread that starts in your stomach and creeps up your spine? I tore through my luggage like a maniac, convincing myself I'd just misplaced them. But then it hit me, I'd had them in the car. I checked my Lyft history, found the driver's name, and sent in a lost item report right away. Within an hour, he responded. His message was short, almost too casual. "Sorry, I checked my car. Didn't find anything." I stared at that message, fighting the urge to call BS immediately. Still, I wanted to believe him. Maybe someone else took them. Maybe they fell under the seat and he really didn't see them. So I let it go. Or at least I tried to. A day later I was back home, getting ready for work when my phone buzzed. A notification. "Your AirPods have been located." Froze. My heart jumped as I opened the Find My app. There it was, that tiny green dot, bouncing all around the same city I'd just left. The route looked familiar. Busy streets, coffee shops, grocery stores. The AirPods were on the move. And here's the kicker. The movements looked exactly like a driver doing Lyft runs. That's when the disbelief melted into something sharper. Anger. I remember whispering out loud. "You've got to be kidding me." The nerve, the pure audacity to lie straight to my face, and then just keep using them like nothing happened. That's when something in me flipped. I wasn't going to just sit back and shrug it off. I wanted him to feel that sting, that moment of panic, when he realized he'd messed with the wrong person. For 2 weeks I kept checking the app. Every few days I'd see the AirPods pop up in a new spot. It became almost a ritual. My friends thought I was overreacting. "It's just AirPods, man." But it wasn't about that anymore. It was about respect. I'd done the right thing, played fair, given him a chance. And he'd decided to double down on dishonesty. So I started planning. If I could just catch him in one place long enough, I could confront him. Not aggressively, just directly. Firm. The kind of calm that makes liars sweat. 2 weekends later, I was back in town visiting the same friends. And of course I checked the app. More out of habit than hope. And there it was. Connected. Charging. My stomach flipped. He was close. I watched the little dot settle, a Chuck E. Cheese. Of all places. I laughed out loud. "No way." My friends looked over and I told them what was happening. Within minutes, we were in the car, following that glowing green breadcrumb on my phone screen. Every mile the anticipation built. Part of me was nervous. I mean, who actually tracks someone down over something like this? But the bigger part, the one that remembered his smug little, didn't find anything. That part was ready. We pulled into the Chuck E. Cheese parking lot. It was a bright Saturday afternoon. Families, kids screaming in joy, the smell of pizza and plastic tokens in the air. I scanned the lot, my phone leading me closer and closer. And then ping. The signal stopped moving. There it was, his car. Same license plate. Same faded Lyft sticker on the window. I turned to my friends. All right, let's do this. We walked inside and found a security guard near the front desk. I explained the situation, calmly, clearly, showing him the app, the name, even a picture of the driver from my Lyft history. To my surprise, the guard didn't brush me off. He frowned, nodded, and said, "Wait here a sec." Then he disappeared into the crowd of birthday balloons and arcade noise. Minutes later, he came back, with him walking behind. The driver looked startled, caught off guard. His eyes darted from me to my phone to the guard. I took a breath, stepped forward, and said, "Are you driver's name?" He hesitated just for a moment, then said, Yeah. My voice came out steadier than I expected. "You stole my AirPods." Silence. You could feel the air tighten. He looked around like maybe he could laugh it off. But the security guard stood there, arms crossed. My friends were watching. His family, wife, kids, maybe cousins, started gathering behind him, confused. He muttered something about not knowing what I was talking about. But then I lifted my phone, showing him the Find My screen, that glowing icon sitting right there. That was the moment his face changed. You could see it, that exact second the lie crumbled. Without another word, he sighed, reached into his pocket, and pulled out my AirPods case. The same one I'd dropped weeks earlier. He opened it, hesitated, then quietly put the AirPods back inside, like a kid returning stolen candy. And in that ridiculous Chuck E. Cheese parking lot, surrounded by flashing arcade lights and the faint sound of children's laughter, he handed them back to me. It was almost surreal. His family stood awkwardly by as he mumbled an apology and turned away. I didn't gloat. I didn't yell. I just said, "Next time just tell the truth," and walked off. As we left, my friends burst out laughing, the kind of laugh that comes from disbelief and relief all at once. Me. I just felt calm, lighter. Not because of the AirPods, those were replaceable, but because for once, someone who tried to take advantage of me got exactly what he deserved. Justice doesn't always come easy. Sometimes you have to chase it, even into a Chuck E. Cheese. That moment, watching him hand them back, his family waiting in embarrassed silence, that was it. The universe balanced itself out. Not through anger, not through violence, but through quiet, undeniable truth. He knew. He knew. Everyone around us knew. He'd been caught. It's funny, I felt bad for him for about 5 seconds. But then I remembered how easily he'd lied. How he probably would have done it again to someone else. Sometimes doing the right thing means standing your ground, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because honesty, it only matters if you're willing to defend it. If that ending gave you chills or just made you believe in karma again, smash that like button. And tell me in the comments, would you have tracked him down? Or just let it go?